Hi guys, so welcome back. Basically today what we're going to be doing is the clutch has been slipping like fuck on this, so we've got another clutch on it which is an R32 Gtr sort of uprated clutch and braided line, and we're going to be putting that on the car as well as doing all stuff like the gearbox fluids, that sort of thing. It's a bit of a squeeze in here as you can see, but it's better than doing it outside, isn't it? So here we've got the clutch kit, which I think is some sort of uprated one from like an R32 Gtr or something like that. It's an extreme clutch and this should in theory take 420 foot-pounds of torque, something like that. But that one should be more than enough for what we've got, because it's about 360 foot-pounds torque at the minute, and if we were going to go a bit more, it's still got life in it. And we also thought it'd be a nice touch to get a braided clutch line on the car as well. So just to top it off all as well, here we have like all the gearbox fluid, that sort of thing, which we're going to be doing. We're going to be emptying all the old fluid out when we take the box off, and then when it's back on with the new clutch on, we're going to be putting this stuff in. Opinions really do seem to vary though on which one you're actually supposed to use. People say use shockproof, this, that, the other, because there are loads of issues with these RB boxes when people start having crunches, grinds, all that sort of thing. And I just thought, first of all, this stuff, like altogether, it's off Nissan. They made the gearbox and it cost about 50 quid, which is half of what shockproof is. I don't have a clue what fluid's actually in that gearbox now, but we're going to start off and see if that makes any difference, because sometimes when you're hyping the revs, going into fifth gear and stuff, it'll make a little bit of a grind or a crunch or something like that. I'll just show you that there. So if you guys need it, it's this part number here. So they were the people who made the gearbox course, and we're going to start off there. And this car's not running like any mega power, so that should be more than enough for what we need. And if we have to go get some shockproofing and still got issues, we'll do it. But for now, we're going to start off here. That's 50 quid. Shockproof stuff's 100 quid. So let's crack on. So then here we have it. We've just got like an organic sort of disc, and I think that's pretty wicked. It's like powder coated purple, new pressure plate. We've got a like a tool to align it, new release bearing, that sort of thing in here. So first thing I'm going to do on this, I'm going to jack the car up basically, get it in the air so we can actually get under the car, and then we're going to empty stuff out like the gearbox oil, and we're going to go from there. So guys, I'm also going to do a little bit of a guesstimation, shall we call it. When we're topping up all the fluids for the gearbox, we want the car to be fairly flat. So now the car's all jacked up, I've just put a spirit level on it just to make sure the car's roughly flat and it's not too far one way or the other. So then now we've got the car up in the air, first thing we've got to do is we've got to undo this plug here to let the old gearbox oil out, drain that out, and then we're going to crack on and take the slave off and get all of this stuff off, including the prop, which we're probably going to bolt somewhere around here. So then guys, let's get that old fluid out of the gearbox. That stuff is absolutely rancid. It's all metal foil, it's part of the gearbox. That can't be good, can it? It literally looks like gravy. So there's gravy, I mean gearbox oil. Anyway, there's little chips of metal in there. This is a little bit concerning, but hopefully it's going to be alright. We're going to wing it, just put some oil in there, and hopefully that will fix all of our issues. So another thing then that we're going to have to do is we're going to have to take all of this stuff off around here, just so we can get to the linkage, unclip that, and get that out of the way to take the box out. So now then what I'm going to just do, I'm going to unbolt these and take this bracket off basically, and then we're going to move on to doing all the bolts around the bell housing. Let's get them off then. Now what we're just going to do is get this one down here for the start motor, then we're going to try and get to the other one from the top and take all those connections out. I'm just going to take that off down here, and then hopefully when all that stuff's done, disconnect all the start motor and we can get the box down and do them bolts there. So then guys, finally at long last we got the gearbox off. That was an absolute pain in the arse to get off. Used some pallets, you know, and the jack of course, wiggling about trying to get it off. In the end we got off and down, thank God. So guys, now we've got the gearbox off, what we're going to try and do is put the compressor on, get an impact gun on there and get some uggy duggies in, ugga them off hopefully. Take the flywheel off and have a look. We're probably going to need to get the flywheel skimmed. So then guys, as you can see, the clutch is all out now. It's absolutely knackered. You can't probably see it on camera, but in here, this is really badly pitted. Like, it's probably about a mil deep of pitted just on that, let alone the flywheel. And this, it's meant to be like a paddle clutch, and it literally hasn't held up at all to anything. The clutch in it is absolutely shot. Maybe the flywheel's savable, if not we'll have to get a new one. But we're definitely going to need to get this off and get it skimmed, because there's no way I'd want to put a new clutch up with a flywheel like that. So guys, now what we're going to do is clean up all around here, and in here there's like an input shaft bushing for the gearbox to go in. We got a new one of them, so we're going to get the old one out, put that in and clean it all up around here. So basically this is all good now. This has been skimmed properly. First of all, I took it to work with me and tried to get it skimmed on a lathe, but because of the material it is, which is cast iron, trying to like go across it, it kind of left a few marks on it. Because it's such a hard material, it kind of skips off just a tiny bit. But we took it to a proper machine shop in the end, which has a grinder, like a vertical grinder, which goes around it. As you can see these marks on it here, that's sort of the way that the cutter goes on it, and that's why it's such a good finish now, and it's been done properly now, so it's absolutely perfect, and that's good to go back on the car. Also, just to top it all off, we got some new pressure plate bolts, ARP ones, Flywheel ones. I'm just going to reuse the ones we got. Some people say you shouldn't, but as long as they're not in bad condition, I think it should be fine as long as you put a bit of Loctite on there and get them torqued up. I got new ones of these because loads of them were missing. They didn't have washers on, and I think that could have even caused an even clamping pressure on the clutch, which caused it to get so bad. So then now they're all torqued up, we can pull that out and get the gearbox back on the car. So we've literally just quickly cleaned that, gone around it with like a wire brush, given it a quick clean down with some brake cleaner and that. So that looks a lot better now. What we've got to do is put the release bearing back on all together. So now what we've got to do then is get this old crusty release bearing off that shoulder and then press the new one in. There we go, that's the new one on. Took that to work with me, used the press at work, fairly straightforward. So now that we've lubricated the shaft, put the release bearing back on and the clutch fork, clipped it all back in, checked it's all okay, seems fine to me, that's good to go back on the car. So this gearbox has been an absolute pain in the arse to get back in. Basically we nearly got it in, it was pretty much in there, and we're just trying to push it forward. It literally slipped out, dropped down, fell back on the ground. Hopefully it isn't damaged or anything now, but what we're going to have to do is we're just going to crack on. So guys, it's another day today, as you can probably see, but last night we ran into a lot of technical difficulties trying to actually get this gearbox in. Before we knew it was already like 10:30 at night, and I'd not managed to get the gearbox in. Torch was dead, camera was dead, phone was near enough dead, and I thought me doing this on my own is not going to work. You know, you can get it out on your own probably, but me trying to get it back in on my own, that's a different story. It was like 4 or 5 hours me just trying to get this back in the car. So I've given a couple of my mates a ring, and they're both going to come down. Ant and Hayden are going to pop down soon, and they're going to give us a hand with the gearbox, and hopefully then we can get it in probably within half an hour with them here, that sort of thing. I don't know, but it should be a lot easier than me trying to actually get it in my own. So we're going to wait till they're here, and I'm going to crack on, and we should be able to get it in like a walk in the park. So then guys, basically my mates have gone home now, and I've literally just pulled through it because obviously they have other things to do. We spent about 4 hours, we didn't really get the gearbox in, but now I've undone the front 2 engine mounts to try and rock it back and jacked it up at the front, and that's literally just managed to do it. I've literally just got it in, and I've tightened the bolts up now, and I'm so glad because I knew that would be the hardest part of doing all of this, but now it's all over, it's all done, and I hope I shouldn't have to worry about doing that again. So as usual guys, we've come across another issue. You see there, that plug there is meant to be undone, so as you top the gearbox wheel up, it's meant to drain out of that down, and then when it is, you know, it's full. And I cannot do it for the life of me. Whatever nonce has done this last time has put some sort of thread seal around it and tightened the absolute hell out of it. So I can't undo it at all, and I've got a breaker bar on it. I've got an extension on the breaker bar, probably about, I don't know, 2 metre long extension all the way back, pushing down on it, and it still won't come loose. So I'm just going to have to go by the book on this one. I'm going to leave it and put 3.8 litres in the gearbox of oil, which is what it should have in it. So that's all back in now. All the gears seem fine. It feels a hell of a lot better now, weirdly, than it did before. So that's made some difference, all that oil and all that for sure. Now we just need to put all stuff on around it and bleed the clutch through, because the pedal is literally on the floor right now. So now we've got the clutch slave back on, and we've connected up all the new braided line. So here we go. This is either going to go horribly well or horribly right. That's alright. clutch has got a lot more throw in it now. Yeah, the bite point's still quite low, but probably bed in, get used to it, that sort of thing. Now we've done all of that, then it's time to actually go out and take this thing for a drive.